Coloradans face a critical choice on taxes. Tonight, a look at the groups working to sway your opinion. The MyPillow election denier guy could end up testifying in court in Colorado because he keeps losing his cool during depositions.
Kiss my...
A trucker uses her rolling billboard to call attention to missing and murdered Indigenous women as she drives between Nebraska and Colorado.
This truck is just a platform for people to be aware that this is happening.
And it's Friday, so that always means one thing around here.
Kiss my...
No, your good news. Fridays are for your good news. Oh my. This is next. You're about to be asked to make a trade. To trade a lower property tax bill in exchange for your taxpayer Bill of Rights refund. It's Democrats' Proposition HH, the big show on the ballot in November. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger looks at the powerful groups already spending money to convince you how you should vote about your money.
When we talk about Proposition HH, think of households. The complicated ballot issue would make some of your property value tax-free, and it changes the math to determine your property tax bill. The math would likely not lower your property tax, but rather lessen the increase you'll see in future years. In return, the state would reduce or keep your Tabor refund for at least 10 years and perhaps forever. As of this week, more money has been raised to fight the ballot issue. $745,000 contributed so far in favor of HH, $1.1 million contributed against. The most money against HH comes from conservative dark money groups that do not have to disclose their donors. $500,000 from Defend Colorado, which most recently supported the campaigns of Republicans Pam Anderson for Secretary of State and John Kellner for Attorney General. Advance Colorado Action also gave $500,000. Americans for Prosperity gave $97,000. And Boulder businessman Bill Witter contributed $50,000. Over text message, he told me he does not think Democratic lawmakers and Democratic Governor Jared Polis are being transparent about the long-term impacts on taxpayers, meaning how Coloradans might be giving up their Tabor refund forever. 1/3 of the yes money comes from Gary Advocacy, the policy arm of Gary Community Ventures, which Denver Mayor Mike Johnston left when he ran for mayor. Several education groups have also given money in support, $100,000 each from the National Education Association and a group called Education Reform Now, and another $50,000 from the Colorado Education Association.
That is all voluntary member contributions from hardworking educators.
Amy Baca-Ohlert is the president of the Colorado Education Association, which is pushing for the ballot issue because of the potential for more education dollars, which would mean fewer Tabor refund dollars for you.
We're ensuring that that school funding is there while we're providing property tax relief.
This is perhaps the most difficult ballot issue I've had to describe. In a way, describing Proposition HH is so painful it might require... Never mind. A couple quick notes. If Prop HH passes, school districts will get less money than projected from your property taxes, but that will be backfilled by the state keeping some or all of your Tabor refund. If HH fails, those same school districts will get the same amount of money simply from your property taxes going up. And I want to be clear. Property tax relief, Kyle, is not a property tax decrease. Yeah. This is, your property tax is probably going to go up again. This would make it so that it goes up maybe this much. And then we're talking about the state keeping your Tabor refund to make up the difference.
I appreciate that you're talking about this now, because what's about to happen is these groups are going to flood the zone with really oversimplified, perhaps even misleading messages about what Prop HH means. And that's what a lot of people are going to see and hear.
Right. And I rely on the Blue Book to help guide us through what we're going to hear from political ads and things that show up in people's mailbox. And the Blue Book on this topic is complicated. And I know they try to write it so simply. And it is a struggle for me, which is going to be a struggle for people. Although if you think it's hard to vote on something, people say, well, you vote no on that. But I don't know. People will see the ads and they'll hear the money aspect, which is fine. But I want people to be educated as best as possible, yes or no, regardless.
Yeah, because we're going to see the ads. Prop HH saves puppies, Prop HH kills puppies. All right, Marshall, thank you. The Coloradan who is suing MyPillow guy Mike Lindell for suggesting that he's a traitor who rigged the 2020 election is now asking a judge to force Lindell to come to court and to answer some straight questions under oath. Why? Because Eric Coomer and his legal team say that Lindell was too unhinged in depositions to give answers to basic questions. They provided the videos to the judge.
Eric Coomer did this directly to me. And I made one statement about him. Didn't say nothing for a whole year. Then you guys come up and serve me papers in Colorado. What is this? Sir, what is this?
MyPillow guy Mike Lindell says the lawsuit is a sham.
How dare him come and sue MyPillow? He's a scumbag for doing that. Put that in there. Scumbag. S-C-U-M bag. Do I think you guys and them are a traitor to our country by what you did to MyPillow? Yes. We are made in America.
Lindell says he's lost hundreds of millions of dollars since his pillow company got in bed with the conspiracy theory that Denver-based Dominion Voting Systems and its employee Eric Coomer rigged the 2020 election.
When you say lumpy pillows, now you're an You got that? You're an
Mike,
is what you are.
Mike,
no,
sorry.
he's a
No,
he's
it's
an
not-
ambulance chasing. That's what you are. The lumpy pillows, kiss my. If there's a way to sue you, believe me, I'm doing it. This is a big lie. You're a lying lawyer. You're an evil, evil man. You are part of a criminal crime family as far as I'm concerned. How do you guys sleep at night? You obviously don't have a MyPillow. That's a fact.
I'm sorry, I've watched it 5 times and I laugh at that last one every time. In the video clips from the depositions, Lindell also attacks the Colorado-based judge. She's going to be the one to decide if Lindell will be ordered to come into a courtroom here to answer some of those same questions. The worst workplace in Colorado could be the Douglas County Board of Commissioners office. The commissioners clearly detest each other. It's a 2-against-1 thing, been like that for years. They scrap like they're toddlers, but they're fully grown and they're elected to office. 2 weeks after the 2 commissioners in charge censured their colleague, they have now taken away her credit cards. So all the folks involved are Republicans. It's Commissioners George Teal and Abe Layden against Commissioner Laura Thomas. Teal and Layden recently censured Thomas. They want her to apologize to the volunteer chair of an arts council that she criticized. Thomas says she was just questioning the council's spending. She's not going to apologize for that. So Teal and Layden are now turning up the heat again. Last week, they voted to remove Thomas from her other community boards. This week, they voted to revoke her county credit card and suspend her county travel allowances. Thomas, meanwhile, is suing the guys, trying to recoup her attorney's costs for defending herself against their investigations. For migrants looking for work in Colorado, finding day labor is just the start of their challenge. They then have to hope that they're going to get paid as promised and not exploited. Your latest Word of Thanks microgiving campaign has raised $19,000 so far for a nonprofit that's in position to help with that situation. Centro Humanitario, or El Centro, has a decades-long track record helping day laborers find fair employment, screening employers that are going to pay what they promise and keep workers safe on the job, then connecting employee and employer. El Centro's Bienvenidos a Denver program expands on that work to help newly arrived migrants integrate into our community beyond just finding a job. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 to get the link to join me and a bunch of others in donating to El Centro to help newcomers find work with employers who need them and will respect them.
Good news, man, that I'm here. It's a blessing, man. I'm here, part of Denver Broncos.
Some Broncos give us a look inside their lives ahead of this Sunday's season opener. Sometimes unexpected good news you'll find in that locker room. And Denver's tornado sirens are about to get a new role. That's next. Denver says it has learned a lesson from recent natural disasters, so the city is going to expand when it uses outdoor emergency sirens. You've heard right here, though, that there are emergency planning experts who say that switching to an all-purpose alert siren is not always the best idea. When the destructive wildfire burned through Maui last month, the sirens on the island, which are typically for tsunamis, stayed silent. Same thing happened in Boulder during the Marshall Fire. At the time, the sirens in Superior and Louisville were not programmed to communicate wildfire alerts, so they were silent. To avoid a similar situation, the City of Denver now says that they will be using outdoor tornado sirens for all hazards. So that would be tornadoes, floods, wildfires, and hazmat situations. Last month, we spoke to a social scientist who studies weather alerts. She told us multi-purpose sirens can actually be dangerous, she thinks, unless they also have like a voice recording that offers more detail.
When there's an expectation that a tone represents multiple actions, then you have a problem, because a warning is supposed to tell people what the hazard is, in addition to what they're supposed to do to protect themselves.
Right? Tornado, go to your basement. Flood, Don't go to your basement. Denver sirens do not currently have voice capabilities. There aren't plans to update them with a voice. They're just going to go, wah, you're supposed to guess. The Office of Emergency Management says people should rely on alternative sources of information in addition to the sirens, like text notifications or local news, to get more information during emergencies. Lauren Robinson, this is something that we've stressed here again and again, that they've got to know what the situation is in their community, know what the alert means. Now in Denver, it could mean anything, and then layer up those alerts so you've got multiple ways to gather information.
That's right. And my suggestion personally is if you hear a siren and not really knowing what it's for, tune into your local news. Because usually if there's a siren going off, we're breaking into programming for that reason. And we're here to protect you and keep you informed as well. So we take a live look outside over Denver, and you can see sunny, a little bit hazy there, but we're at 89 degrees. We did have another 90+ degree day in Denver, despite being in September already. Very dry air out there. Winds coming in from the south-southeast at around 11 miles per hour. Now, to the southwest, we do still have air quality alerts in effect. These will remain in effect until tomorrow morning for Hinsdale, Mineral, and Archuleta counties, and that's going to be for increased levels of wildfire smoke there. So, of course, if you're going to be traveling to those areas or know anybody in those areas, maybe limit your time outdoors, especially if you're someone with respiratory sensitivities. Outside of that, we take a look at our HD Doppler radar. Not a whole lot happening over Colorado. We've had a nice, quiet, sunny, hot couple of days. We have some very minor cloud cover here and there, but that's really going to be about it. So as we go into our Friday evening, you have those outdoor plans. Well, it's going to be mostly clear and pretty mild, those lows near 58 degrees. And over the next couple of days, we're really going to start to see some change push in, and that's going to start this weekend. So Saturday, you're going out to support the Buffs, especially that early morning game time. You're going to be nice and clear of any sort of bad weather, sunny skies, warm temperatures. Be prepared for the hot weather. That's about it. Sunday, we're going to watch for those evening to afternoon showers and storms. Just one lightning bolt could delay the Broncos game. And then as we go through the rest of the week, those temperatures in the upper 60s to middle 70s, some in and out storms and shower chances.
Thank you, Lauren. There's a truck driver using her semi to get people thinking about and talking about a topic that she hopes can save lives. Our Angeline McCall spoke with her about her message.
From the inside, this truck is like any other.
When I got my trucking company, I had a platform and I didn't realize it.
The outside is what turns Elizabeth Johnson's semi into a message.
You know, it's representing that we're not going to be silent no more, that we're going to speak out, and we want to find our missing Indigenous women, and we want people to stop killing them and taking them and trafficking them.
Elizabeth is from the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska. She knows firsthand the high rates of violence Native women experience.
I've got a lot of experience and survived a lot of episodes of alcoholism, drug abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, all of it. I've been there and done that and survived it.
By spreading awareness of missing and murdered Indigenous women, she hopes it means others will survive it too.
And we're all precious and we're all of value, and it needs to stop.
A message she hopes signifies a safe haven to those who see it.
If there is ever a woman that is in a situation where she's being abused or trafficked, she sees this truck, she can come to this truck and I'll put her in it and we'll take her to safety. We'll call the law enforcement. They got a hell of a fight. They could mess around and find out.
The reaction is different from each person who sees it.
I get praise. They thumbs up. If I'm going down the road, let's start there. If I go down the road, sometimes I get people give me thumbs up. They'll honk the horn or they'll wave.
But no one is more appreciative than those who know the loss of their loved ones being taken away.
Elizabeth has relatives here in Colorado, so she is driving through often, so don't be surprised if you see her truck on the road while you're here.
I mean, it's a powerful message. It's very eye-catching, and you also think that with her personal experience and her proximity to people at truck stops and other places, that she has the ability for some one-on-one contact that could illuminate some lives.
Definitely. Well, I was with her. We were in part of an industrial area of Denver, and so there were a couple of different employers around, I guess you could say, or buildings, and there was a woman that saw that truck, and she came out specifically, and she said to Elizabeth, she said, my cousin has been missing, and I have a relative that has been missing since 2016, so this means a lot to me. So if it means a lot to her, you can imagine that it means a lot to other people, too.
Clearly invites conversation. That's the point. That was a great story. Angeline, thank you.
Year 11 and I'm still kicking, so I'd say that's some pretty good news.
Perspective on what is good in life from some guys who work there. Guys you might think have it all. Different take on our Friday Good News. And the war on pickleball knows no bounds, except in Glendale, where the war on pickleball has some very specific boundaries. Roll that scary-sounding Fox News-style graphic as we continue our coverage of the war on pickleball. Glendale City Council has unanimously voted to make it illegal to tamper with the tennis courts at local parks. What they're tampering with is your God-given right to make a racket with a racket. The rules specifically target pickleball, outlining marking your own boundaries on a court or bringing your own net. Glendale City leaders say the rules should prevent damage to their tennis courts. They're also banning bringing your own seating, shoveling snow off the courts. Glendale says it's in the process of adding 4 dedicated pickleball courts to Glendale Park, and they promise the same rules will apply to those. We'll continue our coverage of the war on pickleball. Hey, it's a great day to have a good day, as our friend Scotty Gaines might say. With the Broncos about to take the field for their first game of the season this weekend, we had Scotty ask some players about the good news in their lives.
On Fridays, we go around town asking people good news, and this week we're focusing on the Broncos. So I'm wondering, what's some good news in your life that's come upon you lately?
My brother just became a doctor.
All right.
Yeah.
What kind of doctor?
He's a psychiatrist.
Good news, man, that I'm here. It's a blessing, man. I'm here, part of Denver Broncos.
I mean, making this team was probably a start. That's pretty cool.
I just made a team.
Yeah. That's not bad, huh?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm playing for the Denver Broncos. There's my good news for the day. I don't have much.
Simple as that, huh?
Yeah.
What's some good news you've received?
My wife is 21 weeks pregnant with our first baby. It's going to be a baby girl, and she's due January 10th. So,
congratulations!
Best news ever. Yes.
You know, we play a game for a living, and the process of preparing for an opponent, you gotta embrace that. So, it's fun.
And some more good news. Shoot, man. Let me think about what's good that happened in my life lately.
Good news.
Yep.
Well, year 11 and I'm still kicking, so I'd say that's some pretty good news.
Oh, it's my mom's birthday this upcoming game. So just to be able to spend it with her and her to be another year healthy.
I'd probably say I bought my first car.
You did?
Yeah, I bought my first car. I bought my little Mercedes. So I was probably, that'll be my biggest thing right now. Bought my first car, didn't have to have my mom buy it and nothing like that. So yeah, it felt good for sure.
Everything's good. I don't know. I kind of look at everything as good.
It's really been a pleasure being here, living here. My family really enjoys it, so it's been nothing but really special.
I think getting an apartment. I finally got an apartment out here, so that's good.
When you had the aux in your new car for the first time, what was the first song you played?
I played Rain on Me. I don't know why. It was just popped up on my song, and I was like, Rain on. Oh, yeah.
I can hear it right now, man. She's going to be there on Sunday?
Yes, sir. She'll be there. Her and my step-pops. So.
Wow.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
birthday to her, and good luck to you, man. Thanks for the time.
Happy birthday, mother.
That was cool. That was kind of different, huh? Your feedback's next. So much feedback from Fred, who says, why doesn't Denver have coded siren sounds? It could be a constant sound for a tornado. It could be short blasts for the fire. I don't know, Fred, what do you think? Like a flood could be like a wah kind of thing, and everybody could then check the code card in their pocket to see which. Okay, anyway. Mark says you should have asked for good news in the Rockies clubhouse. That's mean, Mark. Don't be mean around here. Bill says, my dog always watches next. I've never seen you bleep anyone more than you did Lindell. My dog barked at every bleep. And Alex says, plain black jacket, everything okay? Blink twice if you're being held against your will.